Let me tell you about the day my world turned upside down. It was a crisp October afternoon in the quiet town of Cedar Hollow, where the leaves were turning fiery red and the air carried the promise of fall. My name's Caleb Turner, a high school history teacher who'd just moved into a cozy bungalow on Pine Street. I'd saved for years to buy this place, a haven for me and my fiancée, Maya, to start our life together. That day, we'd invited our closest friends Derek Miles, a chef with a laugh that could light up a room, Sophia Nguyen, a nurse who's like a sister to me, and Jamal Carter, a fellow teacher and my oldest friend for a housewarming potluck. We weren't just celebrating a new home, we were celebrating a fresh start. But in a matter of hours, a neighbor's hatred, a vicious lie, and a twisted system nearly tore it all apart. The potluck was perfection. The dining room table groaned under Derek's smoked brisket, Sophia's homemade spring rolls, and Jamal's cornbread, still warm from the oven. Maya had strung fairy lights across the backyard, and we were all out there, laughing under the glow, a jazz playlist humming softly from a speaker. I'm black, Maya's black, Jamal's black, Derek's Latino, and Sophia's Vietnamese, but in that moment, we were just friends, basking in the joy of togetherness. Cedar Hollow was supposed to be our fresh start, a diverse, welcoming suburb. I'd done everything to fit and waved at neighbors, kept the lawn neat, even brought cookies to the block's welcome committee. But across the street lived the Hensons Margaret and her 22-year-old daughter, Abigail. From day one, I felt their eyes on us. Margaret's tight smiles never reached her eyes, and Abigail had a habit of staring from their porch, her gaze sharp and cold. I'd catch her watching me rake leaves, her expression not curious but hostile. Maya noticed it too. "They give me the creeps," she said. I brushed it off, determined to be the good neighbor. I didn't know their subtle glares were the prelude to a storm. As the potluck hit its peak, with Derek telling a story that had us all doubled over, the front doorbell rang, sharp and insistent. I opened it to find Abigail, arms crossed, face flushed with anger. "You need to turn that music off," she snapped. The music was barely audible beyond our yard. I kept my tone calm, teacher mode kicking in. "Hey, no problem, we'll lower it. Didn't mean to disturb you." Her eyes narrowed, scanning past me to my friends. "It's not just the music. It's this whole scene. You people throwing parties, making a mess of our street." The words "you people" landed like a slap. Maya, overhearing, stepped beside me. "Excuse me? What do you mean by that?" Abigail's lip curled. "You know exactly what I mean. This isn't your kind of neighborhood." The air thickened. Jamal, always the peacemaker, joined us. "Let's all take a breath. We're just having dinner. No mess, no trouble." Abigail's voice rose. "No trouble? You're loud, you're disruptive, probably up to no good." Derek, wiping his hands on a napkin, stepped forward. "You're on our property, accusing us of what, exactly?" Abigail's eyes gleamed with a mix of fear and triumph. "You're threatening me." She pulled out her phone, dialing with a flourish. "I'm calling the police. You'll see." She stormed off, already shouting into the phone as we stood stunned. Her 911 call was a performance for the ages. "Help. My neighbors are out of control. They're loud, aggressive, and I think they're dangerous." We'd had one glass of wine each, tops. They ganged up on me when I asked them to quiet down. I saw something suspicious, maybe drugs. That word drugs escalated everything. It's the kind of accusation that brings cops fast, especially in a town like Cedar Hollow. My stomach sank as Abigail paced her lawn, her voice a mix of panic and malice. Sophia whispered, "Caleb, this is bad." She was right. To the dispatcher, we weren't teachers, nurses, or chefs. We were a group of suspicious people causing trouble. Sirens wailed in the distance, closing in on our perfect night. 2 police cars pulled up, lights flashing. 3 officers approached, hands near their belts, eyes scanning for threats. I stepped forward, hands up. "Officers, I'm Caleb Turner. This is my house. We're just having a potluck." The lead officer, Ramirez, a guy I recognized from a school safety seminar, frowned. "We got a call about a disturbance and possible illegal activity." Jamal and Sophia showed their hospital and school IDs, but Abigail was screaming from her yard. "They're trouble. Check their bags." The officers searched our backpacks, nothing but leftovers and wine. Ramirez's partner, a young guy named Patel, looked confused. She said you were aggressive. I pointed to the table. Unless brisket's a weapon, we're good. Ramirez softened, recognizing me. But Margaret appeared, storming across the street. Why aren't you arresting them? She demanded. They're ruining our neighborhood. I couldn't stay quiet. Ma'am, this is my first event here. We're not ruining anything. She jabbed a finger at me. I know your type. Ramirez shut it down. Abigail's story fell apart. She couldn't specify what suspicious meant. False reports are serious, Ramirez warned her. Margaret hissed, you'll pay for this. You don't belong here, before dragging Abigail inside. The officers left, but the damage was done. Our night was shattered. By morning, Margaret had posted on the Cedar Hollow community page a venomous screed with a blurry video of Derek stepping forward, edited to look threatening, set to ominous music. She claimed we'd intimidated her innocent daughter, were drunk, and possibly dealing drugs. The comments were brutal. Scary. I've seen them, they don't fit in. Call the mayor. Overnight, neighbors turned cold. The nice couple next door avoided eye contact. Someone keyed my car with a slur. I felt like a stranger in my own home. Then came the school board. They called me, Jamal, and Sophia into a meeting with the superintendent and a lawyer. Margaret had filed a formal complaint, accusing us of disorderly conduct and endangering the community. The post had reached the board, parents, even the local paper. You're on leave pending investigation, the superintendent said. It was a gut punch. Our careers, our reputations, were at stake. The lawyer grilled us, twisting our words, implying we'd provoked Abigail. Sophia pushed back. She came to us, spewing hate. But the board didn't care. We were sidelined, our lives unraveling over a lie. We fought back. Late nights, we dug into the Hensons' past. Derek found court records from their old town, harassment suits, a restraining order against Margaret, and Abigail's history of false complaints. Then my phone rang. Caleb? It's Linda Perez, down the street. I saw everything. Linda, a retired librarian, described the Hensons' campaign against anyone different trash in her yard, false complaints about her cats. She had security footage, Abigail tossing garbage, trying to break into Linda's shed, and storming our potluck with clear intent. The footage of her laughing with Margaret post cops was gold, exposing their lie. It wasn't enough. The board might dismiss it as biased. We needed undeniable proof. Jamal's plan was risky. Install visible security cameras and provoke a reaction. I set up high-def cameras, red lights blazing, and leaned in new car decals, a welcome all sign next to a teachers' union flag. It was a taunt. For 3 nights, nothing. Then, at 1 a.m., my phone pinged. Cameras caught Margaret and Abigail sneaking over, Abigail with spray paint, Margaret whispering, "Do it quick." Abigail scrawled a slur on my garage. Margaret gloated, "This'll teach them. They think they can invade our street." Abigail laughed. "Better than another fake 911 call." Margaret smirked. "Way better. That drug lie didn't stick. They'd confessed on tape." I played the part, acting shocked when I discovered the vandalism, catching Margaret's smug glance. I compiled the footage mine and Linda Cinto a bulletproof package and emailed it to the superintendent and the school board's lawyer. Evidence, complaint 392A. Within an hour, the superintendent called, livid, "We're handling this." The lawyer followed, apologizing. "You're cleared, back to work tomorrow." At noon, Ramirez and Patel returned, knocking on the Hensons' door. Abigail answered, smirking. "Back to finish the job?" Ramirez's voice was ice. "Abigail Henson, you're under arrest for vandalism and false reporting." Margaret appeared, furious, but Patel cut in. "We have your confession on video." Margaret saw my camera's red light and froze. Handcuffed, she ranted about lawyers, but it was over. Neighbors filmed their fall, the street's bullies exposed. The arrests flipped everything. The news ran it, the community page filled with apologies. Neighbors brought flowers, ashamed. The board cleared us publicly, vowing to support us. The Hensons took pleas, probation, fines, restitution for my garage. They moved away disgraced. Linda became a local hero, and others shared their Henson horror stories. We won, but the scars lingered. As a black man, I knew prejudice, but having my own community turn on me hurt. Months later, we held another potluck, quieter, with Maya, Linda, and new neighbors who waved warmly. Under the fairy lights, we toast to resilience, to truth, to fighting hate. This is a warning. Lies can destroy, but standing firm can rebuild.